Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. I'm back with the protest beard. I will be keeping this beard until WWE shakes things up. I miss the old days when WWE would proudly boast anything can happen in World Wrestling Entertainment, and I want those days back. I want WWE to do something out of the norm. So if Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose turns heel at Fastlane, I will shave the beard. If Dean Ambrose wins the match at Fastlane, I will shave off the beard. First thing Monday morning, I will go to the barbershop, not Brutus Beefcake's barbershop, but I will go there and I will get rid of the beard. So we'll see what happens with that. Got your questions here. A lot going on in the world of wrestling besides the Daniel Bryan retirement story. The other big news topic is Titus O'Neil being suspended for 90 days by WWE. And I got this question here from Devin. What do you think of Titus O'Neil getting suspended? When I watched Raw, I saw the ending segment with Vince and everybody on the stage clapping for Daniel Bryan. And as Vince was walking to the back, Titus O'Neil grabs his arm and Vince responds by shoving Titus and then walking away. At the time when I first saw it, I thought it was a little strange. I was wondering what the hell is this about? But at the same time, I didn't really think too much of it. And I saw it more as Titus just trying to joke around. Maybe he was trying to pull in Vince for a hug and Vince just responded by shoving him just instinctively. Not really sure, but I did not think it was going to lead to a 90-day suspension. I mean, that was definitely a surprise, and some people see that as a bit harsh, and maybe so, but maybe there's more to this story. As I record this video, WWE has not publicly commented on the suspension. There could be more to it. There could be some other issue, maybe a wellness violation. It's really unclear if there is more to this story. It does seem a bit harsh that they would suspend a guy for 90 days. But once again, this is an ongoing breaking news story, so perhaps we'll have more details in the coming hours and the coming days. So make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the very latest regarding that. And I got another question here about Titus from Chosen Boy. Do you think Cena or Reigns would have received the same punishment, if any, as Titus O'Neil? Seems very excessive. It's possible that there is a double standard in some cases in WWE. I think that the higher up the totem pole you are, the more you can get away with. And when you look at The Rock, the guy can get away with just about anything and not be punished for it. But if you're further down the card, one mistake can cost you greatly. And we've seen in the past that guys can get in trouble for very minor offenses. I mean, let's look back at Brad Maddox. He made that one comment and WWE fired him, basically. I mean, he used the word pricks and he was released. Now, WWE was probably just looking for a reason to fire him. With Titus, it's interesting because they were pushing him. The other thing about Titus that I found to be very strange was that he was getting a pretty big push. He had something like 3 or 4 straight weeks of TV wins, and then all of a sudden, he's losing to Adam Rose. And I actually thought that that was more strange than what happened at the end with the shove. I found it very bizarre that Titus would get this push for all these weeks and then Adam Rose beats him all of a sudden. And that makes me think that there might be more to this story than what's out there right now. And then, of course, there's all the conspiracy theorists that it's some kind of racial thing, and I doubt that. For WWE to suspend him, it would have to be pretty serious because Titus has been a great public figure for WWE with the whole Father of the Year and all the positive publicity he's gotten. And by doing this, WWE's risking getting negative publicity. You know, people accusing WWE of being racist and how could they do this during Black History Month. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of uproar. And maybe that's another reason why WWE is not publicly commenting on it, because they don't want this to blow up with the media. So who knows what the truth is, if WWE just felt that it was out of line for him to grab Vince like that. Vince is 70 years old after all, and you know, maybe there's that rule, you don't touch the boss when he's not expecting it. That very well could be the case. And once again, it's a question of, is 90 days too excessive for what he did, or is there more to it? All right, this one comes from Chris Cruz. Do you see the Divas title being retired for the women's title in the future? If so, who should debut with the title? I would like to see it personally. I think a lot of fans would. I think fans feel it would be taken more seriously as the women's championship rather than the Divas championship. But at the same time, the term Divas is a brand, and WWE has branded the women as divas, just like the male competitors / wrestlers are superstars. WWE likes to use the term divas as opposed to women's wrestlers. So on one hand, I would like to see it, and if it was to happen, I would go with Sasha at WrestleMania, have her become the new women's champion or win the Divas title and say, I'm proclaiming it to be the women's championship once again because I take the women's division very seriously. Something like that. She could do that, but if I had to make a prediction, I would say that WWE keeps the Divas name because of the brand recognition and the strength of that brand name. All right, this one comes from Grant Peoples. Do you feel that Mr. Perfect would have been a great WWE champion? I'm surprised you did not question him being a perfect WWE champion. I think that if the circumstances were different, he would have been a very strong WWE champion. But you have to keep in mind that he was in a different era. During that time, WWE was focused on putting the title on the top guy and having the number one guy be the champion, your number one draw be the champion, and have the guys lower on the card challenge the top guy for the title. If Mr. Perfect would have ever been WWE champion, it probably would have just been transitional. But we also did not see a lot of title changes back then either. Really the only heel transitional champion you had during that period was Sergeant Slaughter. But for the most part, there was always a babyface champion, and then eventually Yokozuna became the heel champion. I think that if Perfect had not gotten seriously hurt and had his injuries, I think that there would have been a better chance that maybe he could have had a run with the WWE title. I think just the injuries and his body breaking down on him, prevented any realistic chance at least of him ever having a run with the WWE title. All right, this one comes from Brandon. What happened with Tommy Dreamer and Rhino? They vanished after TLC. Basically, they were just brought in to be part of that storyline with the Dudleys and the Wyatt family. It was never meant for them to be regulars on television. It was just a short-term deal. And there's always the possibility that they could be brought back on special occasions. But it's not like they're going to come back and be regulars on WWE television. Although now that the Dudleys have turned heel, that could open the door for Tommy Dreamer and Rhino coming in and, taking a stand against the Dudleys for going heel. Then the Dudleys can beat them up and send them packing again. But, I think every once in a while we'll see those guys, but it's not going to be where you see them on a full-time basis. All right, next question here from Ty Marshall. Do you think WWE should do a Best of Kurt Angle DVD before or after when he goes into the Hall of Fame? Well, I think when he goes into the Hall of Fame, and I do think it's a when, not an if, it would make more sense to do it before, I think, because you would give the publicity to Kurt Angle by having the DVD out and be able to promote his name and get some of the younger fans checking out his matches and becoming more familiar with what he did. And believe it or not, there are people out there who watch WWE and have no idea who Kurt Angle is. That's hard for a lot of us to even, conceive that idea. But, there are a lot of younger fans out there. So it would make sense to have a DVD out before he goes into the Hall of Fame so everybody is familiar with Kurt Angle and knows what he's all about. All right, this one comes from Mitch. Do you like the fact that Brie Bella is fighting Charlotte for the Divas Championship at Fastlane instead of Sasha Banks? I've seen a lot of comments online. People are upset about this, and I'm not really sure why, because you have to look at the big picture here. The idea is that Sasha Banks is going to get her title shot at WrestleMania. Wouldn't you prefer her to win the title at the biggest show of the year rather than your B pay-per-view Fastlane? To me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, this is basically a filler match. Now, I guess there's always a chance that Brie might pull off a huge upset, coming off the Daniel Bryan retirement. But to me, what makes the most sense is Charlotte getting another big win and further establishing herself as the top heel diva. And then Sasha Banks, who's the fan favorite, winning the title at WrestleMania and kicking off her reign as champion. Alright, this one comes from Stefan. When do you see Enzo and Cass debuting on the main roster, and would you like to see them feuding with the New Day? Please answer in video. I think that they should be debuting any time now. They've already started making dark match appearances at WWE TV tapings, so it's getting close to the point where they're going to be on the main roster. And I think now that the Dudleys have gone heel, that also opens up the door for a new babyface tag team to step in, and these guys would be able to have that opportunity. And yes, I would have them come in and feud with the New Day, especially if the Dudleys are going to be feuding with the Usos. You're going to need a new top babyface tag team to go against the New Day. So, makes sense to bring in Enzo and Cass. The timing is definitely right for it. Alright, this one comes from Josh. Do you think John Cena deserves to beat Ric Flair's world title record? In my opinion, he does. Please answer in video. I know it bothers some people, that idea of Cena beating Flair's record. To me, it doesn't really matter at this point. But I have one issue, and that's Jon Stewart. I think that WWE needs to have him appear the next time John Cena goes for the WWE title. I'm sure everybody will forget about it by then, but I'm going to remember it. And he made such a big deal out of Cena not winning the title that he interfered in the match and turned on Cena. So they need to keep that story going and have him try to cost John Cena every time Cena goes for the title. It can backfire, of course, but I hope WWE continues that storyline and just doesn't drop it and pretend like it never existed. That would bother me more than Cena beating the record, honestly. I would be fine with Cena beating the record. John Cena has been around for a long time in WWE and he's done everything. So why not beat the record? I mean, it's just a record. Some people get too worked up about it, in my opinion. Alright, this one comes from Torvik. Hey Aaron, Road Dogg recently said wins and losses don't matter for heels. Aren't wins what truly make a heel? Please answer in video. Good old Road Dogg and his comment about wins and losses not counting. I think that in some cases it doesn't really matter, but for the most part I think talent needs to be pushed strongly in order to be convincing to the mainstream audience. If Brock Lesnar lost every match or lost even half of his matches, he wouldn't be seen as a monster. So in a lot of cases, the booking helps the character. And would Goldberg have amounted to anything if he lost as many times as he won? It was because he won so many matches and was so dominant that he got over. So that's not entirely the case. There have also been other occurrences where people have gone over despite losing a lot, but those occurrences are rare. There have been a few exceptions to the general rule. You look at The Rock. The Rock lost a lot. The Rock probably lost more than he won back in 99, 2000. I just remember him losing almost every single week on television, yet he remained as popular as ever. The Rock was one of those guys that can really get over no matter what. And Mick Foley lost a lot. Matt Hardy lost a lot and stayed over. So there are exceptions, but for the most part, guys need to be protected. And if you want to build new stars, you got to have them gain credibility by winning matches. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Titus O'Neil. Grab a NoDQ.com t-shirt at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search for NoDQ or click the link in the description box. And I will see you guys next time for more.